Hi folks, Puffin here at the Antifa News Briefa for October 14th, 2021. I've been doing some videos recently about nationalizing Facebook, specifically in light of the recent scrutiny of Facebook. But just to explain why nationalizing Facebook would be a good idea, when you seize certain businesses and have the government run them, the whole goal is not to have the government run them badly. The goal is to have the government run them with some transparency so you know how they're run and for what purposes. This is another reason why it would be good to socialize healthcare. Instead of letting hospitals and insurance companies have bias and prejudice, racism and sexism in how they enforce things or how they provide care. If the government runs it and makes it transparent, it could actually be fair to everyone. That's what the privileged people don't want. They don't want it fair to everyone because they have to share medical resources with everybody else. But if we make enough and make them cost effective enough, that'd be good. Again, good reason to socialize things. Control the cost, control the access, meaning let everyone have access instead of restricting access to certain people. Now, I know this might be a hard idea for people to understand. There's some recent debate about the budget, which includes people concerned about the government monitoring bank accounts that have over $600 in them. I don't understand that, so I'm not going to try to make an excuse for it. But I do want to say if that's the worst thing they can find in a $3.5 trillion budget to whine about, it must be a pretty good budget. But what is that? What is that thing? And what's the concern about the government having some oversight of banks or oversight of people's accounts? Is that you don't want the government looking into your business, right? Well, it just so happens, I was trying to parse this out. Yeah, people don't want the government to look into their business, but wouldn't you rather have the government running Facebook than Facebook running Facebook? Just because Facebook has taken it completely evil, completely Trumpy. If you don't understand that, watch some of my other videos about nationalizing Facebook and arresting Mark Zuckerberg, or I'll explain it later. But right now, just to say any government would be better running Facebook than they are, or every government should run their own Facebook local to their own country. Now, why should Facebook be nationalized? Because it's a resource that pretty much everybody uses, kind of like the post office. Of course, there are competitors to the post office. There are private companies that do what the post office does, but the post office is reliable and fair and open for everyone. So Facebook could be the same way. It can be run by the government. There can be competitors, private organization competitors, but you need to arrest Zuckerberg for what he did to our country and our democracy and all the trolls he made spreading Trump virus. Again, don't want to get into that. The other point that I wanted to make, though, to prove this point, is that they're talking about Google partnering with Wendy's, I think, and how they're going to facial recognition, voice recognition your order so they won't have to have anybody take your order. So it's like automated drive-through window. The problem is, does that really save time? Yeah, it saves them money for not hiring somebody to work at the drive-thru, or they can't find people to do those jobs as much anymore. But why do they need to have a few more seconds before you order to guess what you order? Just to improve their algorithms or to improve their facial recognition technology? Nobody's complaining about this happening in your drive-thru at Wendy's, but for some reason we're complaining about it happening to some oversight of your bank account. I feel like if you apply this to Facebook, you've got somebody monitoring it anyway. It's Facebook using all this information to try to pit everybody against each other and promote the most divisive and false content. To scare people or to keep people from getting the vaccine has been their main goal these last couple of years. If we have a government running that type of stuff won't happen. They won't be able to make fake political groups that make people think they're having political engagement, but they're not because they're fake. So we can make it a real platform, what we really want it to be, if we nationalize it and have some transparency. And it'll show us how to run other things with